So here's an interesting question. How do you do justice to your loved one's inheritance, right? But still make smart, sound financial decisions? We're going to talk about that today and more on Freedom Fridays, brought to you by the Black Wealth Rebels. My name is Jimmy. I got my partner in crime, Corey. Corey, what's up, good bro?
Was really good. Was really good.
Hey man, I listen. I got no complaints at all, beloved. I woke up this morning, so I'm here, so I'm good to go, man. As you come into the room, for those that are watching live, please let us know who is here. Let us know who is joining us. Um, this is going to be a pretty good show. We're not going to be here a long time, but we are going to have some fun. We are going to do our Bitcoin giveaway as we do every Friday. Chaz, what's up, Chaz? I didn't even, Chaz, I apologize. I know whether you wanted to come on or not, but I didn't even think to send you the link. Pause. It is what it is, man. Happy anniversary again to you, by the way. But Corey, man, what's up with you, bro? Like, everything good? How was your week?
It is all right, man. You know, still feeling some loss, man. 2025 been a hard time for me, bro. Like,
How's the family, man?
uh, yeah, I ain't talking about that on public airways, but we all right. I'm all right, and my wife and my children are good.
Okay. I mean, that's what I want. I want to make sure, you got everybody's good. I know life's been going on. You got a loss or what have you. I'm just checking to make sure everybody's good, man. You ain't got to talk about it on air, but everybody's fine though, right?
Yeah, everybody's fine, man. My wife and my children are good, so I'm standing tall for the one time.
Yeah, yeah, respect that. So anything going on in the world of finance or sports that interest you right now?
No,
What you been up to, man?
I
Like,
mean,
how are you occupying your time? Let's talk about it that way.
all right, so I'm doing two things. I'm working, well, three things. I'm working on a triple front. One, I'm working on perfecting what we got going on for the camp. So October 4th, we looking good, feeling good. We out there, moving and grooving, sliding and vibing. Um, Two, I'm working on the project that I was talking about, that uh equivalent exchange, John. Um, Working on trying to get that popped off.
Mm-hmm.
And three, I'm thinking about trying to build a physical library of books about and for Black people. Not a store, but a library with nothing but Black uh,
So my question
books.
is this though.
But
Here's my question. And by the way, I'm actually Chaz. I'm getting ready to send you the link now. If you still want to, if you still want to jump on, I'm about to send you that now. But to my question to you is, how do you envision this? Because
so
one thing I respect about you, good brother, is you have a lot of faith. You have a lot more faith in folks than I do, and I respect that, and I think that that's needed within our community because that
so
sometimes I could be jaded kiss. But how do you envision this library that you're working on?
so just a physical place to store books, and you know I want to soak in the knowledge of my ancestors, man. I'm feeling real disconnected um from my ancestors, and I never really felt that way.
Mm-hmm.
Um and so when I'm having this weird ass feeling of being disconnected, the one thing that will reconnect me to that, I think, is to take action to reconnect me with them. So using their words and their experiences to connect me back to them.
So let me
Uh,
ask you this question: what is it you think that is making you feel this level of like being disconnected the way you are now? What's going on,
the,
like
the,
in the
the
world?
level, if I'm gonna keep it a thou wow, the sheer level of stupidity of my people. Um, I feel disconnected from people in a way that I've never felt disconnected from before. I've never like I'm I'm dispassionate about people generally,
Mm-hmm.
but I've never been dispassionate about this many Black people in my life, man. And I'm just like, maybe it's because I got social media and I can see how really um unserious and
So here's the thing, though, and
yeah.
this is an interesting conversation, right? Because social media kind of exposes a lot of people's thoughts, feelings, and ideas that you probably wouldn't have had in the past. because I don't think that it's any different now than it was in the past. It's just the fact that
I
we
don't
can
think it
see
is
it.
either, but
It's the fact that you can see it.
I can see it and feel it. Like, um, it's bothering me. Like, so
Okay.
I feel like as a teacher, is part of my duty, um, to teach.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, the library is not really. Um, I'm looking at, what's really, you know, I'm looking at what's going on in the world,
Yeah.
and I can either unplug and disconnect from it, or I can face it head first, um, and do something. You know what I mean? Like, and in doing that, reconnect to that feeling that I had with my people, because I know I've never done anything in my life that I haven't been supported by my people. So that's why I have the courage, or like you say, the optimism that I have, because I've never asked for something from my people and not gotten it.
So I guess it's interesting, right? You do have a level of optimism that I just don't have, and we've had conversations like this on and offline for years at this point.
Yep.
Um, but I also feel like for me, it's about the village that you actually build, not necessarily trying to help everyone, because some of these jokers, dog,
I
you
don't
ain't
want
never
no
gonna be
part
able to help.
of them. I don't want no part of them. But my thing is this, right? If I build a place, then I can cultivate the things that happen in that place.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I want to do. I want to build a place where I can cultivate the relationships that I want to have. And so that's
Respect.
what, what I mean. So that's what I'm literally looking to do. So the two projects go hand in hand. The equivalent exchange and the library go hand in hand, right? So I'm looking at people struggling with money that have skills, right? And if we have a way to help each other without having to pay in the currency that we're struggling with, then we can still, you know what I mean? Because like I said, man, I'm feeling disconnected. And so what I want to do is, when you're feeling disconnected, to connect.
Mm-hmm.
Um and so I'm looking at ways to connect that resonate with my soul. Um I've done innumerable projects in my life, where people have helped me and I've helped people. And so regardless of how, that's where my optimism comes from, right?
Okay. All right. Now, I mean, listen.
Because
Time will tell. Everything plays itself out. Listen, man. I'm here to help you with that, with our
yeah,
project, any
I
way I
just feel
can.
like I feel like a cultivator, right? I feel like we have prodigies, we have untapped prodigies, and we have, people who have skills and things that need to be trained out of them. Like, we have people who are geniuses at something that don't have a prodigy path to show that genius.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so the things that, like, I've done so many projects to help people who are disadvantaged. I want to do projects to help everybody.
I got you. I got you.
You see what I'm
I
saying?
got you.
Because I come, like, you're a prodigy. I'm a prodigy. Like, we went to a prodigious school. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And we don't have those spaces for our children. Our prodigies have to go to other spaces. If
No, I
we
get that.
do,
And as a prodigy, I want to stab people's face with my nose bone, but that's either here
yeah,
nor there. So anyway, but I guess the point I'm making is, when I look at, like, your passion for the people and all that, like, it's just interesting, because we have the same passion but in different ways. I want to just move as fast as possible and found out who I should stay away from
yep,
and build a smaller community, because I think that a lot of these jokers are lost over the last month or so with things that are going on in the overall world. It opened my eyes to the fact that a lot of these folks I don't even need to speak to, dog. I'm not,
yeah. We ain't we
I'm
not
I'm on
we
I'm
not
on
we not. Yeah,
I'm
we
on
ain't on the
something
same
else.
type of time. Yeah, we ain't on the same type of
Yeah,
time.
it's a
Yeah,
waste of my knowledge, skills, and ability. But here's what I will say, man. Today's topic, the overall topic, and we're just checking in with each other right now. We got our folks checking in with us too. So
yeah,
let's do that before we
yeah.
get into the main topic.
And for y'all that don't know, man, this is the way we normally talk to each other, man. We check on
Yeah,
each other,
absolutely.
and we making sure that, you know. Speaking of that, man, how was your trip?
Man, listen. the trip was amazing, bro. I got to speak twice, and I, spent a little time in Disney World, and it was just a revelation for me. I'm actually going to create some content around it. By the way, I got two podcasts shot. Actually, one of them drops at 8:30 tonight, which is the Philadelphia Real Home Report. I got another stack set to die trying, probably dropping tomorrow. So I got some content coming to the village. If you're in the village, you get it early, by the way. So for those in the village, you'll have access to it this weekend. Everybody else, you just gotta wait. But I'm going to create some content about this trip because I've been to Disney World before, but I was a youngster when I went to Disney World. As an
Yeah,
adult with adult eyes and with in the work I've been doing over the last decade or so, like just looking at it is completely different when I realized that Disney World itself is a real estate play. And I met one of the Disney executives and had him, he was speaking at the same conference I was, but he was talking about them from a data standpoint. It just opened my eyes to the fact that Disney is a REIT, it's
yeah,
a retail company, it's a data company. Like Disney encompasses everything, bro. And I don't know if I've ever been in any place, and I've been to Disneyland as well, by the way. But Disney World is complete. It's way larger than Disneyland, and I don't know that I've seen that level of commerce take place at one time anywhere in the world, anywhere. Like it's billions and billions just moving, and I'm sitting there like, it's crazy to think this came out of one dude's brain, but oh well, him and his brother. But I mean, still, it's just insane. It's just insane. So I'm gonna create some content around that as I move forward. So that'll be in the village soon too. But and the speaking engagements went well, man. It's probably one of the better speaking engagements I had, to the point where I literally got offered 5 jobs this week. Obviously, I didn't say yes to any of them, but I've never had it where I get off stage and someone offers me a gig. I was like, yo, this is different. So everything went well, man. I'm very excited about it. Also, I'm in the community tomorrow. Um, all of us are tomorrow in Community College of Philadelphia. It's the first annual emerging media conference that's taking place here in Philadelphia. It's taking place at the Philadelphia Community College. It actually kicked off this evening. That's where Kamari is. He's there now holding it down for us. Shout out to Yuki Washington, who's the speaker tonight, but Kamari's holding it down for us there while we're here. But tomorrow we'll all be in the building at Community College of Philadelphia. So if you're in the city, pull up. I'm speaking on a panel there tomorrow as well. And what else is going on? Got a lot of stuff going on, man. We're doing a gig for the Deltas, man. The Deltas sent an invite to Kamari and I, the actual Deltas, man. That's the crazy part. When you go out and do a lot of the talks, you just get more. But I'm gonna show you. Let me share this with y'all real fast in case people care. I don't know if we got any sorority folks in the building, but just in case we do. But this is open to everyone. Um it's not just sorority folks. This is open to the public, but it's being sponsored by the Deltas. So let me see if I can share this. See if you can share the screen. Here it is. It's right here. So this is coming up as well. October 25th. It's called Scam Proof Your Finances. We're going to talk about Bitcoin, taxes, real estate, and beyond. So that is a QR code there as well. But it's brought to you by the Frederick County, Maryland alumni chapter of Delta Sigma Theta. So shout out to all the Deltas. Shout out to all the Divine Nine folks that support us, show love. So yeah, it's a lot going on, man. We got a lot going on. I just got invited to speak at a conference next year in Calgary, so that's going to be dope because I've never been to Calgary before. That's the west side of Canada.
what's
So
up?
I'm be on the west side of Canada next year. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, let's check in with our folks, man. Chaz is in the building. What's up,
Hey,
Chaz?
Doc.
Chaz, I did send you an inbox with the link if you want to jump on. Just letting you know that it's always free. You're free to jump
Yeah,
on
that's
whenever you
that's a,
want
that's
to.
a perpetual invitation.
Yo, shout out to Ray Gun for the super chat. Ray Gun, we appreciate
Appreciate
you,
you,
man.
good brother.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, we got a couple super chats. So we got a Mecca. Oh, peace. Shout out
Peace,
to Mecca with the
peace.
super
Thank
chat. Definitely appreciate that. Let's get back to some more of these new rawmans in the building. What's good? What's good? How are you? Good evening. Ant's in the building. What's up, Ant? You know what I'm saying? My life, my money, media. Hey, good evening. How are you? How are you? Detroit's in the building. What up, though?
What it
Also,
is, though.
I'll be remiss if I didn't say this, man. Rest in power to Asada Shakur, man.
Rest in power.
Yeah, absolutely.
Turn from elder to
Salutations.
ancestor.
Yeah, man. Yeah, there you go. Rest in Euro. So, yeah, Sada is an ancestor now. So, gotta make sure we send some love, to her and her family. Easy question. Keep so the question is, you inherit 600K of Apple stock. Should you sell or should you diversify? So that's the question, but we're gonna get to that in a second. You said keep it easy. 491 bands of Apple, put the rest in Bitcoin. It's funny. How do you get 491 and 109? What is it? Oh, I guess he's getting the one full Bitcoin. I guess that's is that. I guess that's what you were doing right there, Ray Gun,
Yeah,
right? All right, I see what you did there. Just making sure I understand.
grab a Bitcoin and keep the rest in the stock.
Adrian, what's really good, Adrian? How are
Hey, what's
you?
going on, lady?
Yeah, BlackRock sold their Bitcoin shares. Your thought about Bitcoin price? My thought about Bitcoin price is I don't think about it. I continuously buy Bitcoin. In fact, and BlackRock actually just filed an ETF for another for they filed for another Bitcoin ETF. BlackRock is doubling down. They're not removing their shares. They're doubling down. The thing about BlackRock that most people don't understand about how BlackRock works is they hold for other folks, right? So they're creating a Bitcoin income ETF. They actually just filed for it. So they're doubling down in the space. I don't care about the price because for me, I hope, and it's going to sound crazy to a lot of folks, I hope it drops to 50K because if it does, I'm gonna buy as much as humanly possible. My goal is to accumulate as many sats as possible for the long run because I understand the technology, I understand the game theory and the economics that are behind it. And because of that, price doesn't matter. I don't even check price every day because it just doesn't matter. What I do is stack every day. I stack whether it's through my miners, my fiat miners, and all the different various things that I have going on that I will share with the village about how I do so. So, and by the way, BlackRock didn't sell their Bitcoin shares. The shares that they sold were represented by other people trying to drop their ETF shares. It's not BlackRock itself. BlackRock itself is doubling down in the space. So, anyway, ain't Disney World technically sovereign like the Vatican and DC in certain respects? Yes. So they are their own city where they make their own rules, laws, or what have you. But when you see, so just to give you an understanding of Disney World and juxtapose it to the other Disney property, Disneyland. Those the two big boys. Disneyland is about 100 acres. Disneyland is about 100 acres, which is a large property. When you figure the fact that every acre is 43,560 square feet, to say that you have 100 acres is amazing, right? You could do the math there, 100 times 43,560, and that'll tell you how many square feet that Disneyland encompasses. But here's where Disney World takes it to another level. Remember, Disneyland is 100 acres. Disney World is over 27,000 acres. 27,000. It's bigger than that. It was more than 27,000 acres.
That's gangster.
100 versus 27,000. And when you understand the scale of it, because people think that you're going into a park, there's multiple parks,
Yeah,
and then
it's
it's
not
just
a
like
park.
hotels. It's like it's its own
Yeah.
world almost. It's insane.
Literally Disney World.
Yeah, it's really insane. It's insane that that was able to be accomplished. But from a pure like just economic standpoint, they got their own economy, yo. Really.
Yeah, and
So, Miss Edie's Kitchen. Hey, Miss Edie, how are you? Good evening. Happy Friday. I hope all is well. I made the red velvet cornbread.
oh
Whoa,
God,
whoa,
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 whoa. Slow
whoa,
down. Slow down,
whoa.
selector.
Oh God, the Birdman rub here. Oh, whoa, what's that?
we gotta see
Yeah,
some
baby.
pictures of something.
Yeah, baby. Oh,
Hey, thanks, Miss Edie. We appreciate that. We definitely appreciate that.
so, yeah, I'm gonna need parts. How do I get those shipped?
Yeah. How about that? We need those shipped to us, man.
Yeah,
Jamil
we
says
need
I
to
was
get.
thinking BlackRock ain't backing off for letting sellers swoop and scoop. BlackRock is I mean, BlackRock at this point, they have the tentacles kind of in everywhere, in every space, man. But that's one of the things we have to really do a show on one day is how BlackRock and Vanguard operate because people have this misconception that these guys own everything. They own on behalf of others. Now, where it gets tricky and there's nuance and context to it is a lot of times when people buy things through BlackRock, they don't exercise their right to vote. So what tends to happen is BlackRock and Vanguard and people of their ilk tend to have a lot of voting power, right, behind the shares that they hold for other people. So it gets to be very tricky when you go down that rabbit hole. But it is in fact a rabbit hole. Demetrius is in the building. Demetrius says, "Peace, brothers. Truly appreciate both of y'all passions for the people and much respect to Corey. for chopping it up with me when I was in Philly. Corey is a real brother. Shout out to Demetrius, man.
Shout out
Demetrius,
to you, Demetrius, man.
yeah,
Yeah, man. You doing big things, man.
yeah.
So
Salute to you, brother, and all the work that you
salute
put in
to
the
you.
community, man. Yeah. Robin is in the building. Good evening,
Good
Robin. How are
evening. Good
you?
evening.
Ant says Disney World is the Terror Dome. Yo, Disney World.
Come
Welcome
on,
to the Terror
Jam.
Dome. Welcome to the Terror Dome. All right, listen though. I remember Disney back DeSantis off of them LG. Oh yeah, man. Yeah, man. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. Like when I was talking to the executive from Disney, he was talking about the pure amount of data they get when you have the Disney app. They have so much data. They first of all, if you get one of those Disney bracelets, they'll send it to you before you even show up to the actual place. And by then they have so much data on you, they can tell you where you want to go, what you want to eat, and what you want to do. It's just insane. Their operation is next level. But here's what I want to talk about this evening, right? And again, we're not going to be here all evening. It's not going to be a 2-hour show. We'll be out of here soon. But I want to have this conversation with you guys, and I want to get some feedback. How many people in the chat that are watching live have ever inherited any money from anybody? I don't care the amount. Doesn't have to be a million. It could be $200. Has anybody ever received an inheritance of anything? Because this question or this article made me think about this. What kind of responsibility do you feel when you do inherit something, regardless of the amount? If you
So
inherit, what kind of responsibility do you feel to the people that left you whatever assets that they have left you? What are you getting ready to say, Core?
uh as a person who's received inheritance items from numerous family members,
Mm-hmm.
um the sense of responsibility I feel to those items is zero.
Okay.
But to the person, if they left me with, like, I feel a sense of responsibility to the work that my grandmother did, to the work that my aunties did on
Mm-hmm.
me, right? And so I don't feel any responsibility to any item, but I always feel responsibility to the time and the effort and the work that they put into me,
I
and
get that, right?
that they thought enough of me to leave me with those items, and so I do cherish the items just because they left them to me. Money wise, I haven't really been left a lot of money. I mean, I did get left some money, but not life changing money. Well,
Yeah. So for me,
it might have been life changing money had I know what to do with it at the time it was left to me. But at the time it was left to me, it was pocket change because I was out here playing in the streets like I ain't have no, like, like a kid on a big
yeah,
wheel.
but here's the thing though. Here's the thing, and the reason I asked this question that, and I say the amount doesn't matter because to me, um, someone, regardless of whatever that asset is, that's their life's work, right? It could be $1,000, whatever they've spent their time and energy to get that $1,000 they left you.
Yeah, they
And
did.
and I think about like what is their responsibility or how do you feel about their money and how do you navigate the emotional part from doing what's fiscally responsible. Now, this article that I'm getting ready to read like takes it to an entire other level. So let me get into New Rawman's comment first before we get into the article. He says, yes, from my father. Got a divorce and put a down payment on my house. I felt obligated to put the money to good use, and that is a good use of it, right? Um, there's a certain level of survivor's guilt that comes with inheritance. So, but let's get into this article though. Let's get into this article. I'm gonna read this core, and I want to get your perspective on this. Um, it says I inherited 600,000 in Apple stock. It now makes up 50% of my portfolio. Is that too risky? I worry about a downturn in the tech sector or something Apple specific could wipe out half of my portfolio. So it says, I like your advice on this dilemma I've been struggling with. When my mother passed away, I inherited a significant number of Apple shares through an inherited IRA. My overall investments are about 600K, and Apple now makes up about 50% of my portfolio. My broader strategy is to invest primarily in dividend paying ETFs across sectors. I plan to retire in 10 years. I've been taking my RMDs in stock rather than cashing it in. That's requirement minimum distributions for those who don't know. So I still hold all the Apple shares. While the stock has dipped at times, it has performed strongly overall. At this past week's climb reminded me, still it feels like I have far too many eggs in one basket. The dividend only gives me about $1,000 per year. And says, I worry that a downturn in the tech sector is something that Apple's the Apple can wipe out half my portfolio. But there's also an emotional factor. My mother, who worked modest jobs most of her life, bought Apple at around $8 a share. The decision to buy this stock gave my mom financial security, and it feels almost disloyal to sell even a portion. So I think that is a huge part of like the question that I'm asking. So I'm gonna repeat that part again. Her her mother worked modest jobs, but she, figured out that Apple was a value and bought Apple at $8 a share and is now worth about 300,000. That's wild.
Yeah,
The
right.
decision to buy this stock gave my mom financial security, and it feels like I'm being disloyal even if I sell a portion. So the question is, should she be trimming the position and reallocating, or is it reasonable to keep holding given my 10-year horizon? I do have some funds in cash and real estate, but most of my investments are in the market. And she says it's a grateful daughter who wrote this. For everybody watching, what do you think about that specific story? And what do you think about the emotional part? I know it's easy to say just take it and do what you got to do. And to Steve's point, that's a good problem to have.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yo, shout out to Mom Dukes though. Shout out to Mom Dukes for putting that work in. Um, but what do you guys think about that? So everybody watching, what do you think about that? Corey, what would your perspective be?
I already told you, man. I'm just passionate about. I don't care about items or stuff like that. They left it to you. You know what I mean? Like they trusted you with it. They put their time
Mm-hmm.
in it, and then they trusted you to advance it in the way that would best benefit you or whatever instructions they gave you. If they didn't give you any instructions, then they're expecting you to do with it what would best benefit you and the people that you care about. That's why they left it to you.
So I agree with you. I agree with you, but I think there's a part of this where that's why you struggle with this because they did leave it to you and you like they've grown this from $8 a share to a portfolio of 300K.
But
I don't want to mess this up, right? So it's that fear of making the wrong decision, right? And so I totally understand where she's coming from in saying that, right? It's your feelings for that person that makes it difficult to kind of like navigate this.
what's crazy? I don't say this lightly. I feel like an alien, and this is why. I have never once in my life feared making the wrong decision,
Okay.
and I don't know why.
Okay.
I
I mean,
you know what's like. I don't know why. I've never feared making the wrong decision. Like I just never feared making the wrong decision. Like
okay. I mean, that does make you kind of an alien, like, because I fear making the wrong
I
decisions
just
a lot of times, right? It doesn't mean that I don't take action because clearly I take action,
no. I just
but I think you are alien because that's what makes you human. Is
It's not, but I never fear the decision. I don't fear the consequences of the decision. Maybe it's because I don't fear the consequences of the decision, right? Because I maybe because I think a lot in the black and white, like either it is or it isn't. Like if I
and see, I
do
look
it,
at the world completely different. The world to me is there's nothing black and white about the world to me. I think everything is you know technicolor and surround sound. Everything is nuanced.
and there's nothing wrong with that view. I just don't see it that way. Like
Yeah, and I get it. We see the world differently. I see
yeah,
the world as being kind of in the gray area. There is no black and white to me.
so there are gray areas, but I think most things are overcomplicated into that black and white space. I
So
think
for me,
I think things are simple and emotions and complicate.
it's funny, right? And shout out to Ernest because this is the conversation that talk to him about this. It's true, right? And from a data standpoint, I always like tell you to look at the data. What do the numbers say? What do the data say? But the problem with that is that's not how the world works,
Yeah,
right?
the
So
feelings of the
emotions
world are
complicate things,
different.
but we
Yep.
can't discount emotions because emotions are a real thing.
Yes, they are.
Emotion and in the words of H Town, emotions will make you cry sometimes. Emotions make you sad sometimes. But
Yeah, they do.
so we can't discount emotions.
I can't,
So
yeah, I
but
was just
but
talking
what
about how emotional I am right now, man.
Yeah, so you can't discount that. And the fact is, when it comes to loved ones, when it comes to ancestors, when it comes to people who cared enough about you to leave you their energy, because again, the way I envision money and assets are time and energy. So if
Yes,
someone
indeed.
says, "Here's my energy, I trust you with this," I understand this person's perspective, and I just don't want to. I don't want to f this up. Mom built us a 300K. I don't want to make the decision to go from 300K back to $8 when when mom worked meager jobs according to her, and mom was a
Yo,
builder.
that is wild. But I wouldn't have any fear of that, and I don't know why I wouldn't have any fear of that. And it's because I would believe in the things that I would believe that if they trusted me, then they trust my decision making.
All right,
So
so Jamil says that he copped 50 shares of WWE TKO, which was his very first investment, and education when his old dude passed, and he still has it. Meanwhile, his siblings and family jacked it off on vacation, clothes, and seafood boils.
I mean,
Did they have
listen,
fun though? Were the
yeah,
seafood boils fire? Were the vacations fire? And what kind of clothes did they get? I'm joking, but I mean, listen, people make
listen.
decisions they have to
I'm gonna
live
tell
with,
you like
man.
this, man. People really out here like the lock. They living off experiences, man. Like they out here like the locks, man. Like
Yeah, man.
that's why I don't take people serious, man. People living for experiences, man. Like go ahead and do your thing, but the world is a more serious place than that, man. Like I want you to have like I don't know, man. Maybe it's
Hmm.
my my uh my my cousin who I was just talking to because my brother passed. We were having this conversation, and he was telling me that I'm way too serious about life because I'm not gonna get out alive. And I was telling him
Mm.
that you're not serious enough because you're not gonna get out alive. You gotta make it a better place to live in for the people that you care about. And you're not serious enough about changing the dynamics of the people that you care about.
So that's an interesting conversation because I think honestly, both of y'all could be right.
I mean, it wasn't like an argument. It was
No,
just
no, I
more
get it.
of
It's a
it
conversation.
was a
You're just sharing. You're
philosophical
sharing
conversation.
ideas. Yeah, you're sharing
Yeah,
ideas.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I think that's something that I learned as I get older. That life is really about balance, right? It's the balance, and that's why I joke a lot on here, but I still handle business and have and but I like to have fun because you do have to have a balance.
I'm
None
not
of us are
saying you
getting out of
shouldn't
here.
have fun, and I'm not the fun police. Don't get me wrong on being the fun police. And the people shouldn't have fun and create experiences because I think creating experiences is one of the things that creates culture, right? This is why I want to
Hmm.
be amongst the people and create those experiences. But when you create experiences at the expense of um, the sanity, the fiscal sanity, or the emotional sanity, or like when you, I don't know, man, it just feels selfish. I don't know.
So it could, but at the end of the day, the day's going to end, right? And because the
Yep,
day's going to end, you have to enjoy the time that you do have here. That's why I
yep.
said it's possible that both of you can be right. There has to be some sort of balance, man. Like that's why I laugh at like a lot of my Hotepian friends. Like y'all just completely woke and conscious and drawn all day long. Like y'all don't like yams. Y'all don't like what I'm saying. Like what's wrong with y'all? Like, and I know for a fact they do because
Yeah,
they be
man.
the worst abusers.
Listen, man,
Like
I got hobbies, and like I said, because they don't have that dichotomy. They don't have that whatever that is. You know what I mean? Like, but I maybe it's me. Like I said, because it's I know what it is. It's because I literally did everything I wanted to do. Like there's I have a bucket list, but my bucket list is so small that I probably could do it all in a year if I
So,
really
so,
set
but
my
here's the question though, man. It's something I've been questioning myself about too. Like, have you been thinking too small? Have you not put things on your bucket list that are too difficult to reach, right? Because I was sharing this
so
last Friday, right? Where
it's not
I thought that I've accomplished pretty much everything I wanted to, and then I started realizing like maybe I'm thinking small. Maybe I could do more if I just expanded. Not necessarily my belief because I do believe in myself, but maybe I just been thinking too small. Um, because I feel like I'm always gonna have something on my bucket list. Like, I can never see fully getting through my bucket list because every time that I accomplish something, I want to add something else.
You want to add something else to it. But
Absolutely.
so the thing is, I lived so wild in my late teens, early 20s, mid 20s. Like I did some of the wildest. Like I really got like books. I could write books about just literal years or two in my life where crazy, just like I was wilding.
But the question is that all that encompasses your bucket list though, right? It's
So,
not
but
just
the thing
about,
is, it wasn't like I was. So like I've seen every part of the world except for the continent, like that I want to see. Like I don't have any desire to go back to Europe. I've been to Europe, and it is what it is. I've been to the continent once, but I don't have the full continent experiences. But that's what I want. Um,
so
and
so
so
to
that's
me
really
that right there means your bucket list is endless too. Because I think about that often, like what countries have I been to in Africa? But Africa has so many countries, right?
that's what I'm saying.
Africa
But I
has so
haven't.
many countries.
It does. Like I said, I've been to the continent once, um, and it was an experience that changed. Like I felt like grounded. You know what I mean? Like you ever feel like
Yeah, also something that's interesting to me, right? And one of the beautiful things about being a black person is like we are literally all across the world. So
yeah,
I remember when I was in Australia speaking with the Aboriginal community, and I was like, "Yo, this is crazy." But I saw something that I haven't experienced in person yet. But I got caught in this rabbit hole on TikTok last week where um, they were like talking to people in Ireland who are black. And when you think of Ireland, you don't think of black people, but we have a presence
at
literally
all
everywhere across the world.
for
And these
sure.
were and it was so funny because these are people darker than me, and when they talk they sound like one of the Peaky Blinders. So I'm watching this and I'm dying laughing because they're not being funny, they're not trying to be funny,
Yeah, that's
they're
just where
be
they from.
yeah, that's where they're from. So more proof that you become who you're around. So they're talking like straight Irish folks, but they're like, black folks. It was one of the most interesting things. But then in watching that, I was like, yo, we are literally everywhere. So now I'm on a hunt. I want to see if we like, got some black Russians or black Chinese folks out there. I know we got black folks that have, migrated in different
So
spaces, but I want to
I was
see.
just looking at EYL. They were saying that it's like 100 million black folks in China.
Interesting.
Because
Interesting. I didn't know that.
there's all African towns in China.
Wow. I didn't know that either. Again, I don't, I didn't know that. I haven't been exposed to that.
So
So now I got to go do that research because
yeah,
The
so
black Irish folks
yeah,
took me out.
there's all African towns. There's like literal like all African towns in China. It's like 100 million
That's
black
that's
people.
interesting. That's interesting. So for me, obviously I want to get back to the
Not
continent and go
100
different
million. I'm
places.
sorry. He's not 100 million. They were saying something million, but not 100 million.
Okay.
I'm
All right, but
overstating that number, but it's a lot.
but that's fine. But I guess the point I want to make is I want to have that experience where I go around the world and meet and see what our folks look like, how they live.
In other places.
Yeah. So anyway, let me get back to the comments
You
before we
know
move
what?
on.
I think we could put that on.
Shavar,
I
hey,
think
hope
we could
everyone's
put that
doing.
on
Hope
the
you're doing
to-do
well.
list, bro.
Appreciate that, Shavar. Hope you're doing well as well. Ain't F with the old dude like that, but felt obligated to not let them 49 years of Ford and General Dynamics go down the drain. Everybody else blew it in 6 months. My gifts keep on giving. That's the thing. Your relationship was what it was when he was here, but he still, left you some of the time and energy that he, had. So Pass says if Apple paid a better dividend, she could hold all of it. Otherwise, she needs to diversify a little, but her cost basis gives her excellent margin of safety. That's a great point, Pass. Absolutely great point. I would sell 500K and buy Bitcoin. Steve, I ain't never gonna get mad at that. As long as you're making wise decision with it and not tricking it off. Ray, I agree with you to a certain extent because a little bit of that might have to get tricked off. I ain't
Yeah,
gonna hold you.
I'm not gonna lie. Some of that getting tricked off.
Yeah, some of it is. Yeah, Steve Corey definitely said I'm built different. Yeah, Steve, you got tricked just a little bit. Just a little bit. You know what I mean? Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Ant says I would probably sell half or a third of it, but to be honest, I wouldn't know what to do with it. I might buy a house and turn it into a rooming house for vets approaching 65 and get that VA money. All right,
Hey,
there's an
listen.
idea right there. What's up, Darren? How are you? Even the pastor has
Yeah,
vices.
man.
Is my guy in prison?
You talking about
I
me?
don't know.
No, I am on the streets,
No, no,
brother.
he's free. He's free. He's free. I do see why you
I'm
say that
living.
though. The background do look like CFCF a little bit. No, he's free. He's free.
I'm on the
Hotepian.
streets, bro.
Yeah, yo, that's the only way I could describe what I was trying to say is Hotepian. Y'all get the point I'm trying to make. Like, yo, y'all gotta, not all day long. What's good, Jarrell? How are you? How are you? Steve, I've been accused of being everything, man. Dominican Republic, they asked me if I was Dominican. Am I Aboriginal? Am I from Hawaii? Yo, speaking of, dog, Cora, another show you gotta watch. I didn't even finish it yet. I'm like 3, 4 episodes in, but it was enough
Oh,
violence
before
that I
you
can.
tell me about the show, how many people died?
People, listen.
How
At
many
least on the
people
first,
died?
I'm 3 episodes in, and a couple hundred folks have died. It's called Chief of War. It's an
Okay,
Apple
I'm
Plus
in.
joint. There's two pieces of content that I watched this week that moved me. One is Chief of War, and the reason it moved me is because it's based on Hawaii becoming one unified island. Like I didn't know the history of Hawaii. They didn't teach that where I went to school. But I don't know how much this is true. I'm gonna have to do that research after I finish watching the show. Obviously, they have to take a little bit of license to make it feasible for TV. But it's definitely a dope show. It's Jason Momoa is the star and one of the writers in it. And the only thing that may throw you off a little bit is a lot of subtitles. But they ain't no ooh-ahs. People is they
You
getting
ain't gonna
buck
throw me
fifties
off.
everywhere.
As long
They
as
getting
people getting,
stabbed,
is
they getting choked.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's an all-out war. It's an all-out war.
My God. Now you just gave me. Now you just gave me something.
Listen, spears is flying, and I'm laughing because like some European people have pulled up on the island. They be like, the pale skins are here. They start, so it's war everywhere, dog. But this is like, it's supposed to be based on some history. So I gotta see how much of this is historically accurate. But it's pretty good. I watched that. And the other thing that moved me this past week, the Pivot podcast. The Pivot podcast has an episode with Steve Harvey of all people. But it was one of the best pieces of content that I watched in a while. Like the conversation was just dope. Like I don't know if anybody has seen that, but that episode of the Pivot was pretty dope. So and it says Black Irish people, Silky O Jenkins. Yo, go look it up on socials, dog. There are black people who live in Ireland who talk like Peaky Blinders, yo. They talk like Peaky Blinders, but they've chocolate folks. Mark, what's good, Mark? How are you? How are you, family? A couple hundred. That's yo. It's straight violence out there. I look like people from Louisiana.
Listen,
hey, listen, man.
I don't want to watch. Listen, man. I stumble into stuff where people don't die a lot, but I don't purposely go in watching stuff where people don't die. Like if my show don't got violence, I don't want no part of it.
Yeah, this is. And by the way,
get hit.
This is why I recommended it to Corey. Because I know Corey, if the show doesn't have action and violence, he don't want nothing to do with it. So
nothing,
I know that already.
Not to start with. You can trick me into watching some stuff for like if it's going to entertain me, I need to be entertained, and I am entertained by the thought of humans killing off other humans on film.
So shout out to your folks in Louisiana, man. Louisiana got the best food in the world, but Pat says, if you don't build trick off money into your financial plan, you will. Listen, I agree with that, Pat. You need trick off money because what tends to happen is if you don't have trick off money, you start touching the money that should be cooking for you. But if you've already built in trick off money, then your money, you never have to worry about touching your investments. The original man is all over the planet. The earth is our turf. 29 million square miles of useful land. Yeah, it's interesting to see though, Jamil, like, because again, I know that to be a fact, but I forget at times, I guess is the best way to put it. So when I saw black people with an Irish accent, I died laughing. Next thing I know, I was caught in a rabbit hole and kept watching it because, they're all over social media. If you don't build trick off money, yeah, you plan off your finances with trick. Let me repeat that. If you don't build trick off money into your financial plan, then you plan to off your finances with tricks.
Yes, you do.
I'm checking out the Pivot Steve Harvey interview this weekend. Make sure you do. And when you pull up next week, let me know what you thought about it. I thought it was amazing. It was super dope.
I'm not a podcast, bro. I'm not a podcast, bro. I like.
Yeah,
I'm more.
it's on YouTube, but I think that to me, my favorite pivot podcast was Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin was dope, but this is right up there with the Mike Tomlin episode. Um, you know, so Terminal List and Dark Wolf is good. I actually added them
I've
to my
never seen
queue,
a whole
Mark.
episode.
I just haven't gotten to them yet. I know they got violence too. But yeah, so Corey, you definitely got to check that out. Getting back to the original conversation, though, I think it's a
What was
deeper
the hold on,
conversation.
hold on. 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. What was the name of that show again? So I can put it in my phone.
Oh, you want to put it in your phone? All right, let me tell you real quick. It's called Chief of War. Jason Momoa is Chief of War. Put it like this: it got war in the title, dog.
All right, Chief of War. Got it.
And it's interesting too, though, like to hear them speak. Like again, this is it's probably based on history, but when you hear people from a historical standpoint, the way that they talk about land, the way they talk about family, the way they talk about like marriage, it's like it's all this like honor and all this, and it's like in 2025, we don't take any of that serious. To your earlier point,
None of it.
but when you hear, the ancestors, so to speak, when they speak about things such as land, family, food, it's like
It
with a
means something,
different,
man.
yeah, it actually means something. These folks that they don't take marriage serious, they don't take land serious, they don't take anything serious. I don't know what we take serious these days, if anything. I was just watching your president on TV, like talking about how many friends he got that's fat and they be on Ozempic and still don't lose weight. I was like, hold up. It was funny, but then I thought about it like, I was like, yo, this boy is the president, yo. I was like, yo, Abraham Africanus did not give his life for this.
Yo,
Anyway,
he be wilding, bro.
yo, it's like it would be completely hilarious if he didn't, hold the power that he holds. But he's out of pocket, yo. But I ain't gonna lie, I was dying laughing, man. Anyway, man. So to your earlier point, though, I don't know what we take serious in 2025. For those watching, what do you think people take serious in 2025? And maybe I need to cleanse my timeline. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's not the world. Maybe it's me. But no one seems to take anything serious in 2025, and it's actually pissing Corey off. Yeah. And says that was bars pass.
Yeah, man.
So now I'm Samoan. I went from being Dominican to Louisiana, Samoan, Hawaiian. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, man. I'm just proof that people in my family like to fornicate because I mean, I probably got a little bit of my blood, probably, it originated in Burkina Faso and it got haywire since then, man. Folks in my family are a bunch of fornicators, man. So with that being said, though, Shavar says, I caught clips of that Steve Harvey one, especially the clip where he talked about how he felt after his father passed away. Oh, that was heavy. That was heavy. That was heavy. That clip right there was super heavy. Super heavy. So for those that didn't see it, I hope you did see it. Corey look like they got the Corey COINTELPRO knocked Corey off, but I'm still here though. Let's see what the rest of y'all saying. Believe it or not, I watched Average Joe on BET Plus with Deion Cole and I enjoyed it. I thought about watching that. I haven't really tried to. Here's the crazy part. I'm an idiot. I pay for BET Plus and never use it, yo. I never use it. I was watching Family Business on there and I fell off because it's just don't have enough time really. So I probably should just go cut it off. But anyway, Lil Wayne made it popular for tricks to repeat. It ain't tricking if you got it, but you gotta have it in order to trick. That flew over the bunny ear pocket's head. Now here's the thing about that. He's not the first person to say that it ain't tricking if you got it. I remember hearing that in rap songs back in like the late 90s or maybe early 90s at that. That's been a thing. So, it is what it is. Jarrell says, let's get back to Jarrell. Thanks for putting me on to that Blood on the Root book. This joint live. I'm 4 chapters in again. Hey, listen, man, that's what we do. We like to talk about books here. I'm glad you're enjoying Blood on the Root. That's definitely a dope book. About to go binge Black Rabbit. Gotta check that out too. New Ramen. Oh, thanks for the super chat again. Thanks for the super chat. Well, here's a question for those in the chat. And Pass, I know you're watching too. He wants to know if he's allocating his resources, what percentage should be allocating for tricking. And by the way, when we say tricking, we don't mean literal tricking. We mean tricking in terms of just like spending money on doing hood rat things with your friends. It could be anything, whatever your vice is. We just say that you should budget for that. Because what I've seen happen in my life in terms of working with people that need to save or build some sort of money, they want to invest. They start to invest their capital. Then here's what happens. They have an emergency. Something goes wrong. They need to go out with family, friends, or what have you. and they have to dip into their investment to do so. So now their investment doesn't get the full time to cook or be in the market. And the thing about the market, which is interesting, is you study it, you can miss a couple days in a year, and it can mess up your entire return for that year. So you always have to be in the market. Remember, it's not about timing the market; it's about time in the market. I say that to say this: having your quote unquote what we're calling a tricking budget helps you to do that because you're not always dipping into your savings. In terms of a percentage, I'll let the people answer. I say at least 10%, no more than 20. Steve called me an amalgamation of Negro. It depends on the season. I listen, that helps keep me safe when I travel the world. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of y'all. You know what I mean? Amalgamation of all the Negroes. At least 10%. We want quality. There you go. I don't even want to try to pronounce that. I gotta look that up. Jamil be too deep into the Afrocentric YouTubian streets. Ant says 5%. So we got 5 and 10%. He said, tricking is tricking. Don't gentrify the word. All right, GC, I get it. I was just telling what we mean, when we say tricking, right? But I get what you're saying. Tricking is tricking. Another 5% towards the trick budget. We got 5% and 10%. There's a difference between tricking and nating. All right, so there we go. We can call what GC's referring to as tricking, we call nating. And for those who don't know, that's Nate from Set It Off. You know what I'm saying? But there's a difference between tricking and nating. But I get your point though. We don't want to gentrify the word, man. Tricking is tricking. But I will put it like this: then you should have a fun budget. How about that? You got to have a fun budget. Um, and GC said, I think that depends upon your goals. So it varies. It could be 5, could be 10, it could be 20. What are your goals? But what you don't want to happen is you don't want the money that you put to the side to have fun with. You want to make sure you have something because you don't want to consistently dig into your investments because that happens way too often. Way too often. Let's see what Pass says. Pass says, if you look at your whole financial picture as a portfolio, then trick off capital should be like speculation money that you can afford to lose. So no more than 10%. So there you go. Pass says 10%. If Pass says 10%, 10% has to be it. Nate got that money and it immediately left the black. We gotta have one Nate mention every episode, man. Shout out to Nate, man. Nate is a legend on our Friday lives, man. Nate is a legend on our Friday lives. But just bringing it back home to the original point. The original point was for those that missed, and I'll share this story real fast again. This young lady inherited $600K in Apple stock, and now it makes up 50% of her portfolio. And she wants to know, is it too risky? Here's what I'll say though. What I'll say is this. This reminded me of, I once watched J.L. Collins, right? And J.L. Collins is the author of The Simple Path to Wealth. I enjoy his book. I believe that a lot of people should just take his advice. I'm a fan. I don't, subscribe to it 100% myself, but I do understand why he says what he says. But he did a Google talk. He spoke at Google. And one of the questions was about, matter of fact, let me share it. Let me share it with you guys to show you what he said, because I actually have the clip teed up. Let me make sure that I can share my screen and show you what JL Collins said, because this was in reference to Google stock. Remember when I show you this, he's speaking at Google when he says this. So it's about Google stock, not Apple stock. But I think the same rules apply. But let me share this with you guys and let you see what JL said here. So let me know if you can hear it once I hit play, to make sure everybody can hear what JL said. And by the way, this is JL Collins, the author of A Simple Path to Wealth.
So the question is from Stephanie here in Chicago. She said, a lot of Googlers receive a significant portion of compensation in Google stock. Oftentimes there are strong camps who never sell a share, or those who sell it all and diversify immediately. What are your thoughts on holding the Google shares, since we're all extremely invested in the success of Google?
Well, that's a politically loaded question. Somehow I think I should say, hold Google. But that's actually not my opinion. And that has nothing to do with, by the way, Google stock or what I see as the future of Google. The problem I have is in looking at the question, when she says we're all extremely invested in the success of Google, that's a great thing. But that's also an emotional thing. And I think you need to separate your emotions from your investing. So you all want to see Google go forward and succeed.
Real quick, you guys can hear this correctly. I just want to make sure you guys can hear it. And what he's talking about, again, I'm just giving you more context. He's speaking at Google, and the question that was asked to him is based on his perspective of the simple path to wealth, what happens if you accumulate stock as part of your compensation. A lot of people that work at Google get a huge percentage of their compensation in Google stock. So this kind of reminded me of this lady's situation with Apple, although it's speaking specifically about Google. But I just want to make sure you guys can hear this. I'll finish letting this part play just as part of the video. Later on, when you get a chance, go check this out. This whole talk was interesting, but I'll let it play.
Prosper, it is your career. It rates your paychecks. And therein lies the problem, because when you are also invested in Google, you have more and more eggs in that one basket. I don't know what the future of Google is, and nobody really does. Everybody in this room, presumably, and in the organization is striving to make that future wonderful and profitable, going on indefinitely, and have done a wonderful job so far. But the world is filled with people who are trying to eat your lunch. I think back to General Motors. So when I was a kid, in the 1960s, General Motors, who was kind of had a rough go of it in most of your lifetimes, in the 1960s, the federal government was on the verge of breaking up General Motors because nobody else could compete with them. General Motors was so dominant that the government was concerned that no other car company would be able to compete, and they would have to step in. And they were specifically talking about splitting off the Chevrolet division, which was just huge and dominant. Well, of course, history tells us two things. It tells us, one, the government chose not to do that, and two, that they didn't need to worry, because the world was filled with places with other companies waiting to eat General Motors lunch the moment they slipped up, or simply the moment the competitor figured out a better way to do it. So you have to be very careful in putting all of your eggs into the same basket where you work. Going back to the question the gentleman asked earlier about the S&P 500, I would rather own the S&P 500, or at least have the bulk of my net worth in the S&P 500, because now I don't have to guess who's going to win. Because the losers fall off and the winners go on and prosper. One of the beautiful.
So his perspective is, sell a portion of that Google stock just to make sure that you're, have more of a balance and you're diversified. Let me get to some of these comments. Blah, 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 blah. The No Eyes of Samoan bloodline. Oh, Rock Rikishi Roman. Okay, don't try to deny it. Hey, listen, if I can hear some of Rock's chicken, because Rock got that bread, man. Shavar says 5% to the trick budget. Nate is the tricking version of what? caught him the Warren Buffett of tricking, yo. That's wild. But it's called personal finance for a reason. It's personal to you. Just plan an assignment for every dollar and you will find something to do on its own. Master your money or your money will master you. These are the facts, Pass. Shout out to the person that accumulated that Apple stock. Listen, the story of Darren, crazy part about that story, she said her mom worked meager jobs, didn't really make that much money, but she found Apple and thought it was a good buy at $8 a share. And that's part of her dilemma, because she feels like she's somewhat disrespecting her mother by selling any of it off, but she knows that she wants to retire in 10 years and she's just worried about losing that capital. But shout out to moms again, who didn't make a lot of money, but learn how to save and invest. Yeah. So all day pass. So immediately sell half the Apple stock and scale into Google. I know GC is a Google shareholder, so I got to take that with a grain of salt. Listen, I'm not mad. Google's a great company. GM and Google are not the same. I don't think they are, and I don't think that he was saying they are. What he was saying is, when a company is that he was actually giving Google props. He was saying that Google is so dominant that the government could attack them. Now, here's the thing about Google. Google understands that. I've talked to people that work at Google. Google at this point invests a lot of money into donating the candidates in their PAC, which is interesting because when you go through their history about Google and even Microsoft, in the beginning, as tech companies, they were trying to avoid getting involved in politics until they realized that they can't. So I think that the analogy he was making there is that Google is so good at what they do that if the government came in, and the government has threatened Google in different countries several times about antitrust issues. One of the things I found funny about the tech sector is kind of how they all need each other. They seem to be competitors, but they kind of need each other to exist because as long as Microsoft is doing this or Amazon is doing this, I can always point to them and say, "Hey, I'm not a you shouldn't run an antitrust suit against me because look what they're doing. They're my competitors." So they kind of need each other, which is why if you go back and look at the history, Microsoft is actually invested in Apple at times when Apple was struggling. True story. Go Google it. Look at that. Go Google it. Google's a verb at this point. But so I think what he was just saying is Google is so dominant and good at what they do that it is possible the government can come after them. Like that's always going to be, if we're doing a SWOT analysis, right? That will be a threat. So I don't think it's a weak comparison from that standpoint. I don't think that GM and Google are the same in terms of a company, but their dominance. And if you go back historically and look at how GM was dominating, they were dominant. But that was at a time that Google didn't exist. But GM was a huge and dominant company. It's hard to see that now, but yeah, they were. I remember that GM had to bail out Lee Iacocca and Chrysler. I remember that too. Daimler, and then there came Daimler Chrysler. That was before Daimler Chrysler. But Lee Iacocca and Chrysler were in trouble. That GM was, they had their run. I remember when GE had their run, when GE could do no wrong under Jack Welch. So it's interesting when you watch corporations over a long period of time. Sometimes we forget just how dominant an entity was at one point because they no longer hold that dominance. So Pat says, when I'm awarded company stock, usually at zero strike, I then use the equity to get margin and buy market ETF, then scale out of a company stock. If it trends up, scale. Ooh, if it trends up, scale faster if it trends down. That is a whole strategy there. Paston gave you all kinds of game. So when you're awarded company stock, usually at a zero strike, use the equity to get margin and buy a market ETF and scale out of the company stock if it trends up. Scale faster if it trends down. That's a strategy right there. Pat, you got to start charging for that. Mom cop Apple doing the Oregon Trail days on a Macintosh. Yo, Apple, and again, this is what happens when you get old. When you get old, you remember things that the average person doesn't remember. Because everybody remembers Apple as this big dominant company with the iPhone. But if you were around before the iPhone and back in the Oregon Trail days, you will understand what Jamil is saying. Apple used to be just like something that weirdos use, like weird artistic people use. It wasn't a mainstream product back then. But it's interesting watching Apple become the old stodgy mainstream product. I remember the old Microsoft and Apple ads where they had the guy who looked like he was a cool young guy and then an old stodgy guy in the suit who was like Windows. But what happens when you become the dominant player and now you're not innovating the way that some younger companies are? But, we'll see how it plays out because Apple at this point, they're expanding into all kinds of other services and lines of business. So it is what it is. OpenAI spending with Oracle, Nvidia spending with OpenAI partially owned by Microsoft, etc. Yeah, is one big circle jerk, right? At the end of the day, there's like a small handful of companies that are running the world, and they're just we just sitting around watching them do it. But they all need each other. But the one thing that will always be a threat to these corporations is the government. You cannot separate government from big business. It's too incestuous. It's too much going on there. So, it is what it is. But overall, though, I thought this was a great conversation. She got 600K of Apple stock. I think the thing that we have to think about when it comes to her, Corey just popped back up. You all right, bro?
I don't know what happened, bro. I got some crazy news. Like, not crazy news, but like, every time I tried to get back on the joint, it kept telling me like the stream is not there. The stream is not there. So I don't know what the hell was happening.
Yeah, I don't know. I think COINTELPRO got you, man. They don't like your idea of a library, man. But
Libraries are dangerous, which is why they trying to ban all the books.
Yeah, pause. I don't even know what I said, but if I did deserve it, yeah, definitely, Paul. Yeah, I was doing a podcast today. By the way, that podcast is going to drop in 15 minutes in the village, only in the village. And I said I caught myself saying something wild, but you know, it is what it is. I definitely had to pause myself for a minminute.
Hey, man.
Darren says, I remember as a kid having an iPod mini listening to Sean Kingston. Yo, Sean Kingston had a little run before he became a scammer. Because last I heard of Sean Kingston, he was a scammer. You know, I don't know how true it is, man, but Sean Kingston had a little run. Shout out to the iPod mini too. That was a interesting product nonetheless. I definitely had the old iPod, you know what I'm saying? That's coming out of the days when you would allegedly find music on the internet, and you know, gotta go take it and put it into your iTunes, and then from your iTunes to your iPod. That was a mess. What do y'all remember? Y'all remember the iPod Touch? You know what I mean? For the folks that didn't want to buy an iPhone, but you got you got an iPod Touch where you had all the functionality of an iPhone without the data plan. Anyway, man. So, but getting back to what I was saying, there's a part of this story about the 600K that we need to really think about as we think about the story, which is when someone leaves you assets, how difficult is it to deal with those assets? Because again, that's someone's life work that you're dealing with, and you want to make sure that you're making the right decision with that person that left you the money, right? So you have to take the emotional part into account when you think about what you should do with this money. It's a financial decision, but to some of us that have inherited money, it's much more than a financial decision. You know what I mean? So I do want to do a Bitcoin giveaway. $25 of Satoshis. Jamil, let me know what that is in sats. How many sats is $25? We down to 109 right now. I don't think the megacorps are worried about the government. They got more influence than many nation states. If Biden didn't go after antitrust, folks knew it was a done deal. It's all public-private partnership. There's a level of truth into that in Mecca, but the thing is, what I guess for me, watching specifically, how certain folks navigate now within the political space, nothing shocks me anymore. I definitely could see people making those moves in terms of going after corporations. But I do agree with you for the most part. It is way too incestuous now. We're in a weird place. And because of where we are in a weird place, I start to think from a historical standpoint. I start to look at nations and how nations dominate over a long period of time. And where are we at in that cycle for us as a nation? Philosophical question, but it is what it is. Burning CDs. Oh, man. I still got a whole thing of CDs over here that are burnt CDs. Like, I got a bunch of... Anyway. Allegedly. Mad people jailbroke the hell out of the iPhone touches. Yo. Shout out to the iPhone Touch. Here's what I need y'all. For the folks that still remain with me right now that have been on the stream for a minute, I do want to do the giveaway. Corey's back again. Yance just pulled up. You're late, but you're still great, Yance. It is what it is. Psychological attachment due to how you value that person and their work. That's absolutely true, Darren. What up, Yance? So you want to do a giveaway. $25 equals 22,800 sats. We about to give away about 23,000. We're about to give away, y'all. We're about to give away 23,000 because we're gonna start measuring this in Satoshis and not that dirty dollar. I need a hashtag though. We talked about a lot tonight. We talked about Corey's projects that he's working on. We talked about people not taking nothing serious. We talked about whether we're going to rebrand the word tricking. We talked about what else did we talk about? The iPod Touch. We talked about whether you should diversify out of Apple and or Google. Yeah, we talked about Nate. Corey, it said tricking and Nating are two different things. Nating is when you spend it on something specific. Tricking is just having fun. So you can be tricking or Nating. GC said we got to stop trying to rebrand tricking. Tricking is what tricking is. All right. So Nicole says library. She wants to use it at the Corey. Corey is building his library. Corey, question for you, Corey.
Yes, sir.
What are 5 must-have books that every Black person should have in their library, from your perspective?
My perspective.
And don't say the Bible.
Man, if you think I'm gonna say the Bible,
I'm messing. I'm trolling you right now, bro. I'm trolling you.
You gotta be.
I'm trolling you. I'm trolling you. So, by the way, I need some more suggestions in terms of the hashtag. We got preserve and we got library. But Corey's going to answer this question.
All right.
So the question to you, real quick. Let me rephrase this, and I'm gonna put you. I'm gonna give you an ISO. The question I have for you, Corey, is this: What are 5 must-have books that every Black person should have in their library?
Okay. The first book that you should have is Bill Brother Bill, and um, I won't
That's
get it.
that Bill Brother Bill. For those who don't know, that's Leon Sullivan. So
That's
Leon
Leon
Sullivan, Bill
Sullivan.
Brother Bill. All right. So what else you
Um,
say? Get 4 more books.
Marcus Garvey, um, autobiography.
All right. So
Um,
I think the one I like is the writings of Marcus Garvey. But okay. So Marcus
yeah,
Garvey, bro.
the writings of Marcus
So
Garvey.
we got Marcus Garvey. We got Bill Brother Bill. What else you got?
Um, oh man, this is crazy. I gotta pick just 5. All right.
Yeah, 3 more. You got 3 more.
Isabel Wilkerson. Cast.
All right. So we got Cast by Isabel Wilkerson. All right. That's 3. 2 more.
Oh man, so many. Like 5 is just, it feels restrictive. I'll say here's a good one. The autobiography of Malcolm X.
Okay. Alex Haley's autobiography of Malcolm X. We got 4. You got 1 more.
This is so difficult. Family Properties, Burl Satter.
Okay, Family Properties by Burl Satter. Okay, so there we go. We got 5 books that you must have in your library.
So I wanted to take it back, like, because like W.E.B. Du Bois, Booker T. Washington,
we got
Miseducation, like
we got the Miseducation Negro, Carter G. Woodson. You got autobiography, but you also got Souls of Black Folks.
Souls of Black Folks is definitely one, but like you gave me 5.
Yeah, 5.
And so 5 is kind of tough.
I got an honorable mention. It's called Own Your Time and Space. But listen though, real fast though, Pass says
put Nahashi Coates' newest book in there also, because that book is
Pass said politricans. He called them politricans. Politricans are like NASCARs. They have corporate labels all over them. They're fully sponsored. All right, another suggestion is hashtag inherit. Put Byron Woodson jaw in there, bro.
Yeah, Byron talks a lot about systems and
shout to Byron. That's the homie.
That's the plug when it comes to systems.
Yeah. Hashtag library. So we got 2 hashtag libraries. I like that. He said it's your list. Yes, your list. Pass got bars. Yes, Pass does. The Miseducation of the Negro. Yo, it's funny because in our investment club, we make everybody read at least 1 chapter of The Miseducation of the Negro by Carter G. Woodson. But you know, it's a lot of great books. I just want to see what your 5 was. We talked about library. So right now, what's leading right now is library. Does anybody have any more suggestions for a hashtag we can use for this giveaway? By the way the giveaway works is it's a random spin, a random, selection. And if you are selected, you have to go into the village. You have to be a member of the village. Remember, you have to be a member of the village. You can put it into the general chat or you can inbox. And what you do is send me your Lightning address. How do you get your Lightning address? You go to your Cash App. You hit the up arrow, down arrow, hit receive. You want to receive some Bitcoin, right? You want to receive it, and then you get your Lightning address, and you go from there. So, with that being said, I need some more. Some more suggestions. Core. I'm gonna give you the opportunity to give you 3 more books. What 3 books you got? I'll give you 3 more books.
All right, 3 more books. Jamil El-Amin. I forget the name of that. Jamil. I forget the name of Jamil El-Amin's book. How the West Underdeveloped Africa, Walter Rodney, and Yurugu. So those would be my next 3. Did you just?
No. No, repeat it again. What were your last three, Core?
I said Jamil El-Amin's book, which I forget the name of.
Okay.
It's not, the name is not coming to me. How the West Underdeveloped Africa, which is Walter Rodney,
Okay.
and Urugu.
Well, I was waiting for you to say that. I'm surprised it took this long for you to say that. That's actually what I thought was going to be in your first five.
Urugu is a handbook on how to deal with with them folks.
All right, so real fast though, a couple more. We got sell off as a possible. So Jamil says, Jim, how do you inbox the village? I only see the general chats. Oh, so if you see all those chats, if you look in the top right hand corner, you'll see something that looks like an it's a little where's it at? Blah, 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 blah. It's an envelope. It's an envelope in the top right hand corner when you go to the chat. So when you go into the Patreon, at the bottom you'll see a little house. Then you'll see like a little message icon, the plus icon, Patreon icon, all that. When you hit the icon for the different chats, you'll see a bunch of chats. For a direct message, the top right corner, you'll see an envelope. You can send it right there in the envelope. So with that being said though, let's do this. Let's do this. I want to make sure that we got Nathan. We got Nathan sell off. I think library is in number one right now. So let's just roll with library, right? Because Core, I ain't Kamari, so we ain't gonna sit here and just wait. You know what I mean? We're gonna get this out, get this done. So the actual phrase we're going with is hashtag library. So let me share that so folks can see what we're going with today. But it's hashtag library. Corey gave you some of the books that he thinks should be in his library. This is what it is. We got hashtag library. So that's what it is for today. Today's hashtag is library. The Invisible Man. That's a good one.
It is.
That's a good one. It's so many to name, bro.
Yeah, that's why I was having so much trouble because I'm thinking of 30,000 books, but I'm trying to think of like top books. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
because each of those books have me. Like Asada, it was a great book. You know what I mean? Speaking of the ancestors,
Asada. We got Watch It Have All the Fun. That was a great book too, right?
Yeah. So
it's so many great books that should be in that library. But there got to be some that are mandatory, like the Malcolm X book, Souls of Black Folk. Some of them got to be just like All right. So which book company about
Die and Die?
There you go. He said Die and Die?
Yeah.
There you go. D&D. Sorry. So D&D is what he's speaking of. All right. So there's for those that try to build a library up, we gave you some stuff to go into your library today. So far we got 10 folks in. We got way more folks watching than that. So, I'm gonna give y'all a couple more minutes and then we getting out of here. I ain't gonna sit here like Kamari, like we gotta get to 20. I ain't doing all that, man. I got to get up early in the morning to be at community college so I can get these bars off. But, I still want to kick it with y'all tonight. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got a lot to kick it. And by the way, for those in the village, the episode just dropped right now. You know what I'm saying? That's how you put the work in, dog. While we're streaming, another episode just dropped. You know what I'm saying? And another episode will be dropping tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So we putting work in. We making the village great again. All right, let's see what we got now. We got 12 folks here, a couple more minutes, and then we going. Listen, you got to be in the village to win. So remember, if you do win, I don't care if you text me. I don't care what you do. You got to be in the village to win. Look at this. Is Kamari calling me, knowing I'm on the air. What's up, bro? I'm literally streaming live right now, man. What's going on? So everybody can hear you, man. All right, bro. Peace. Yeah, he calling me from the event. I'm like, dude, I'm streaming. Whoa. I just got an inbox from the pastor. Pastor says $50 because he want to do 2 more. All right, here we go. So shout out to pastor, man. We gonna do a couple winners now. Now I'm really about to for those that didn't sign yet, the hashtag library. Hashtag library. Y'all got 60 seconds and then we out of here. Corey got to go watch this violent show I just put him down with.
Yeah, man, Chief of War, man. Now
Chief of War, man. Chief of War, man.
Listen,
and the crazy part about it is, it's a lot of
I'm going on my favorite streaming service. I'm going to watch that joint immediately.
Yes. So again, when they first started gonna be talking, then they're gonna get right to it because you're gonna see that when they it's in Hawaii back then. You start seeing them face paint.
Yeah, they gotta build it up a little bit.
You start seeing that face paint.
Yeah.
They
okay. That's what I'm talking about.
And Jason Momoa be out there, dog. He got look, Greg seen it. Greg said it's fire. Yo, they be putting hands on people in that joint, dog. Listen, they ain't got guns yet, so they put hands on folks, hands and feet. I got at least 10 books of y'all previous lists, including the joints y'all wrote. Appreciate y'all. Jarrell, man. Listen, man. We appreciate you, Jarrell, because you take action, man. You know, we don't mind sharing information, and we love reading. We love sharing books and information, but you inspire us by taking action. Because I'll tell you, I got family and friends that I've been trying to put down with a lot of stuff for years that you've already done more than they did. There we go, Pedro. You got it. Hashtag library. All right, so we're going to do the first one right now, man. We're gonna do the first giveaway right now. So if y'all missed it, you still because Pass donated some money. So y'all send a salute to Passer. You know, he's Montez on YouTube, but that's my spiritual guidance right there, Passer.
Right.
Let's do the first drawing right now. Good luck to everybody. Remember, you have to be in the village to win. So the first name is,
and the next comedian.
Damn, is he funny? Ray Gun with the dub. Ray Gun, salute. Ray Gun, you still here? Yo, here, damn y'all late. Here you go. We ain't that late, dog. We ain't start the after 7. We ain't been on here. We've been here about an hour. Ray Gun, are you still here? Remember, you still have to be here to win. As a matter of fact, let me write this down because I want to make sure I got all the correct winners. But Ray Gun is the first one. You got
Ray Gun is here.
All right, so Ray Gun is in the building. Let's go. All right, Ray. Ray, remember, get your lightning address. And if you have issues getting your lightning address, what you do is send me a message in the village about that as well, and I'll walk you through that. But go to the village and send me your lightning address. You get paid this evening. So, all right, Pass donated, so we're going to draw again, man. We're going to draw again. And the next winner is Miss Edie's Kitchen.
Congratulations. Yo, you gotta send us a way to get those red velvet. Yo, I need
Miss
parts.
Edie. Miss Edie, are you here, Miss Edie? Miss Edie,
I need parts of that.
No, look at this. He's not even here with us, and he's still slandering me, man. He's still slandering me.
You know, if I was running this show, this joint would have been done 20 minutes ago.
No, we'd have been done in 10 minutes. You'd be like, "What's up, y'all? I'm out."
Yo, what's up? This is what we talk about.
All right,
say your piece.
Miss Edie is here. Miss Edie, gotta be in the village. Gotta shoot a message. And if you're not in the village, blackwealthrebels.com. You can put it in the general chat or you can inbox in the village. If you need help getting your lightning address, let me know. But go to Cash App, hit the up and down arrow. It'll say Bitcoin. Tap on the QR code. It'll give you a lightning address. Send me the lightning address. Also, want to thank Passer because Passer is
responsible for that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you.
All right. We got one more. I'm going to give y'all 30 seconds and then we are off to the races again. But we got one more. And remember, the hashtag is library. Hashtag library. Hashtag library. All right. We are going to spin this in about 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Real quick, Corey. Something else I gotta put you down with. Have you ever heard of an MC? His name is like Chris Crack.
Chris Crack.
Yeah.
I've heard of the MC, but not very familiar. I only heard one like 30-second clip of him. He was killing it though.
He can rap. I'm gonna tell you how I heard of Chris Crack. I was on YouTube Music the other day, right? And literally just the title of this song caught my attention. So I think the dude is a master marketer. I'm gonna tell you the title of the song, right? And then I'm gonna read you some of the titles of his song. The name of this song that popped up on YouTube Music, right, said, "Never fight a person that's uglier than you.
Never fight a person. What?
Never fight a person that's uglier than you." I said, "What the hell kind of title song is that?" So I listened to it, and the boy can rap, right? So I'm like, all right, he can rap a little bit. So then I went down a rabbit hole. I said, what's his newest album? The name of his newest album is called "White People Think God Left Them in Charge."
And now I need to listen to his album.
That's the name of his album. But by the way, though, because I want to show y'all the titles of the tracks on this album, by the way. We're going to do our last giveaway. I know you're like, what are you talking about?
Yo, that's absolutely hilarious.
I like putting people down when I come across things. And I never heard of him, never heard of his music. And literally because the titles of his songs I came across, like I was like, yo.
All right, so this week my vibe has been this artist named Jalen Naganda.
Oh, you gotta send me that. I never heard of that.
He's definitely he's American. I think he's from the West Coast. He might be British, but young boy can sing, man.
Oh, so it's like an R&B type joint.
Oh yeah, man. Man, listen. I found myself listening to Yawa this weekend.
All right, let me share this with y'all real fast. This album of this young man.
Yawa.
I'm gonna get back to the thing real fast, but I gotta share the name of the track listing of this album because I was in the room just dying laughing before I even listened to the music. I was like, I'm a fan, and I haven't heard one bar, but I'm a fan just based on how he titles his track.
That's how I feel about Aaliyah Sheffield. If y'all don't know who Aaliyah Sheffield is, you could bring her up too, because the title of her songs be nuts.
Corey, look, here's the name of the album, by the way. Chris Crack. This came out in 2025. It's called "White People Think God Left Them in Charge." That's the name of the album. The first track is called "Don't Ever Wear Khakis to My Mom's Birthday." The next one is called. The next song is called "You Never Meet a Hater in Real Life." So track number 3 is called "Black Women in the 90s Were Effortlessly Beautiful."
Yeah.
Number 4 track was called "Why Was Khalees Warming Up Her Milkshakes?" The number 5 track is called "When I Die, I Hope People Merch It on Me." The number 6 is called "Stop Taking Advice from People That Don't Leave Their Comfort Zone." Listen to track number 7, Core, is called "Why You Horny at the Repast." All right. Track number 8 is called "The Revolution Will Be Monetized." Track number 9 is called "School Was Free Until Niggas Started Going."
Yo.
Hold on, we're not done yet. Track number 10 is called "My Favorite Person Turned Into a Lesson." Track number 11 was called "Wasn't No Subtitles in Japan." Track number 12 was called "Dollar Tree Charger Changed My Social Security Number." Track number 13.
Yo.
Track number 13 is called "Calling People Back, Hoping They Don't."
Yo, this dude is a maniac, yo.
And the last track on the album is called "Kelsey Grammer is the White Tyler Perry." So literally just based on his track listing, I was like, yo. And that's how the crazy part let me get back to the thing so we can get out of here. But the craziest part about it though, Core, is low-key genius marketing, because I only clicked on it because I was like, what the hell kind of song title is this?
And then you run into 15 of them.
Yes. So,
yo, listen.
So if
go to Aaliyah Sheffield.
You said, hold on, let me go back to that real fast because I never heard of Aaliyah Sheffield either. You said her name was Aaliyah Sheffield? Yeah, but Chris Crack got something else going on. Aaliyah Sheffield. Let's see.
She be wilding, bro.
Let's see. Oh, God. Her first song is called "Earth is Ghetto." "I Don't Like People." "Boo Boo the Fool." All right, so I see she on that same type time.
Yeah, she a villain, yo.
Okay, all right, so yeah, we got that. That's a subgenre of music. It's called villain music.
Yeah,
all right,
she a whole villain.
You got y'all gotta go look up Chris Crack. Even if you don't like the music, because I didn't listen to all his music yet. Just look at his song titles, y'all. He got one song title, bro. That's on a different album. Yo, it's called it's called Women Screenshot Everything. It says Accept Them Begging.
Damn. Boy, it's a villain. He a whole villain. Like, damn.
All right, so
Yo.
whoa, it says I'm in the Black Wealth Rebels and I'm unable to send a direct message. I only have access to the daily chat. All members, please advise. So, do you know where when you click on the envelope to send the direct message? So you can also post it in daily chat, all members. But if you look in the places where you can place the chat, Miss Edie, in the top right corner there is an envelope. When you see the envelope, click on that envelope, and that's how you send a direct message. If not, you can leave it in the daily chat as well. No one can do anything with your public address other than send you more if anybody wants to send you more. So either put it in the daily chat, all members, but if not, look on the top right corner and you'll see that envelope. I'm going to do it on my iPhone as well as Android to make sure it looks the same on both, but I'm pretty sure it's just the same thing. So now I'm on here. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, same way on both. I looked at it on the iPhone and the Android. Top right corner, you'll see an envelope. Click on that envelope. So that's how you do it. And anyway, so the people that are here are the people that are here. We are getting ready to spin again. This is the last winner. Good luck, everybody. Remember, you still got to be here. Nicole won. Nicole, are you still here? Nicole, are you here? I'm just making sure she's here before, because I don't want to have to, Nicole, are you here? Let me write Nicole's name down too. That's our 3 winners. I got Miss Edie.
Now I got 2 things. Chief Award, Chris Crack. I already been listening to villain music because the Leah Sheffield, she's a whole villain.
Yeah, I gotta go listen to her now. All right, Nicole is here. Nicole, you have to be a member of the village. Go to blackwealthrebels.com. You can join the free tier. Doesn't matter which tier it is. Hit on the message icon and look on the top right-hand corner and send me your Lightning address. Your Lightning address you can find by going to Cash App. Click on Bitcoin. It's going to have an up arrow and a down arrow. And you're going to hit that button, hit receive. When you hit receive, it's going to give you a QR code. Tap the QR code. It'll give you a Bitcoin address and a Lightning address. Send me your Lightning address and you'll get it right away. Jarrell says, what's the Etsy shop? Closetofcapital.com. CLOSETOFCAPITOL. Closetofcapital.com. Closetofcapital.com is that. Make sure that everything's cool there. Just to make sure we good. But that is it. It's closetofcapital.com. CLOSETOFCAPITAL. Closetofcapital.com. Anyway, y'all, we appreciate the support. Shout out to Pastor. Everybody give Pastor a shout out. Shout out to Pastor for the donation. You know what I'm saying? All pastors don't take. Our pastor gives away, right? Shout out to, my spiritual leader, Pastor Eubanks, for the donation to give back to the community. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Man. If you're in the village, I just dropped a new episode. The video for the episode. The audio of the episode will probably drop tomorrow with the audio and video of the next stack sats. So if you're in the village, you got early access. You know what I'm saying? You got a video for the night. You're going to have a bunch more content tomorrow. If you're in the Philadelphia area, pull up to Community College of Philadelphia tomorrow. We'll all be in the flesh, spitting truth to power. So that's what it is. Scott Montgomery says, keep all shares of Apple and use a $600K margin they give you. So then fully invest it and you'll have $1.2 million account. Oh, so Scott, you a YOLO guy. Scott says he's going full leverage.
my guy is wild.
Scott says, he said YOLO. Everybody sending love to Pastor. Salute. All right, y'all. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. We'll be here Sunday morning. If not, I don't know. I gotta see what's going on Sunday, but one of us will be here. Somebody will be here Sunday morning. You'll see us. You know what I'm saying? Sunday morning, 10 a.m. Until then, y'all, please stay safe. If you're in the village, salute. If you're not in the village, blackwealthrebels.com, and we'll see you there. Peace.